Welcome to I Love This Thing So Fricking Much, a podcast about passion. My name is Sophie Katz, and today I am joined by Shannon, a game master at Escape in Time Madison. Welcome to the show, Shannon.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So, here is how this works. Shannon will have 3 minutes to talk about something that she loves. This can be a person, place, thing, concept, activity, anything she wants. Our only requirement is that she loves it wholeheartedly and wants to tell us why. Are you ready, Shannon?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, got my timer here. Now, what do you love so freaking much?
I absolutely love escape rooms. I mean, so freaking much. I'm a person that I love puzzles and I love murder mysteries. There's just something about them, the intrigue and the suspense. I love them so much. They're so much fun and they're so interesting to me. And basically, an escape room is like a giant puzzle. So it's just a bigger version of something that I already love. And basically with an escape room, you go in with a group of people, friends, family, whoever you want to go with. You go into a room and you have to solve a series of puzzles to be able to escape. And part of the fun of the room is each room has a different kind of story. And what I absolutely love about them is the fact that each time you walk into a room, it's not like you're being told the story. It's like you're being fully immersed into the story. So you get to be the person in that murder mystery novel that you love so much. You get to be the detective. You get to be the investigator. And you get to do all of the cool stuff that you wish you could do in those books that you read. At least that's what I think. I get to do all of that fun stuff. And it's really amazing. I mean, whoever thought of escape rooms and designed the first one, bravo, because they're such a mind-blowing idea to me. And really, originally, I think I got hooked on escape rooms by that aha moment. The first time I did an escape room, I really just loved the feeling of opening that first lock. The first time you find something in the room, the first time you figure out the answer to a puzzle and you get it right and something opens, and it's just this great aha moment of figuring something out, the light bulb. And I see it constantly with my groups that I get to monitor and help at the escape room at Escape in Time Madison. And from personal experience and from seeing my groups do it, it's just the best feeling in the world, I think. I see groups all the time find something in the room, and sometimes it's like a really slow build, but sometimes they're just like, oh my God, how did we not think of that? And it's just this great kind of moment of being able to realize something and get it right. And that's a big part of why I really love escape rooms. And thinking a little bit too about what I was saying before about the story, a little behind the scenes of at least what we do at Escape in Time Madison, a big thing that we do is immersion. That's what we're really known for in the area, is being able to immerse the customers into that story, into that escape room. So we go all out. We think about the lighting, we do dim lighting, we do bright lighting. We make our own scents. We have scents for every room. We have firewood scents and gunpowder scents and basement scents and anything you can think of. We spray in the rooms to really give it that it factor. Even the hallways and the lobby of Escape in Time, the whole premise is that...
Go ahead and finish your thought.
The whole premise of it is that you're traveling through time to be able to get to these portals for these different rooms. And so even the hallways in the lobby, you can see how it's like you're traveling through time, and it's amazing.
That does sound amazing. Thank you for telling us about escape rooms today.
Yeah, I'm glad I could share it. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. I think I got a little excited just talking about it.
That's great. That's what I hope happens during these episodes. Could you give an example? I love when you talked about your love of murder mysteries, and that when you go into an escape room, you get to do the cool stuff that detectives and murder mysteries get to do. Could you give an example, maybe a personal example from a game you've played, or maybe even a game that you run, of the cool things, detective things that players get to do?
There's so many good ones. There's maybe 2 examples I can think of off the top of my head. One that I did personally, I've done a bunch of different escape rooms because I'm slightly obsessed with them. So I've done a bunch in different states. And one I did in Des Moines, Iowa with some friends. It was a theme of you were in a psych ward and the psych prisoner had escaped, and you had to figure out how to find them based off, something in the room. And they had this really interesting puzzle that I've never seen anywhere else. And it was where we found these literal lead pipes in the room. And we had to put them together to make kind of this tall stand that then screwed into the bottom of the floor It had a
Hmm.
laser pointer on the top of it, and you had to shine it around the room to find different letters on the wall to give you an answer to a clue. It was the most interesting thing, I think, one of the most interesting things I've done in an escape room, and it was very cool. So that's just one example of, I found that to be so interesting and amazing, and I've never seen that in anything else.
And it must have felt extra amazing, like you said, when you had that aha moment and realized that putting the pipes together is what you needed to do.
Exactly, exactly. Because you're just finding these random things in the room and you don't know what they are. So it's just this really great moment of being able to realize, oh, things actually do fit together. Because it is like a book. Things are meant to fit together and things do come together at the end, like in any kind of murder mystery novel.
Do you have any advice for someone who maybe has never done an escape room before and isn't sure what they would do upon walking into a room and not knowing how anything really fits together? How do you recommend people think about the game or approach the game?
So I do have a few things that I like to recommend to people who've never done an escape room and are just kind of curious, because when people think about escape rooms, it's kind of hard to have an idea of what they are because it changes based on the location, based on the theme. So you're always going to walk into something different no matter where you go, which is really interesting and nice, but kind of difficult if you've never done one before. So I like to tell people, first of all, think about who you're bringing with you into the room. It can be really fun with some people and it can be really difficult with other people. So think about the friends, think about the family that you're bringing in with you, and make sure it's going to be like a nice, fun environment, because they're supposed to be fun. Try to bring a group of at least like 5 or 6 people. That's usually what we recommend. You want a nice, like small or largish group. To make sure you have a good experience. Also, when I tell people, when you first walk in a room, a lot of people have a hard time just not knowing where to go when you first walk into the room. The first thing you want to do when you go into an escape room, and I promise this isn't revealing too much, so it's not like a big deal that it's not a spoiler, but you want to look for all the locks in the room. Some escape
Ooh.
rooms have all the locks already laid out so you can see them, and some of them are hiding. But what you first want to do is you want to find what you need to open. There's always going to be something to open in the room. There's always going to be some sort of puzzle. So you want to search the room really thoroughly. Split people up into groups, go all around the room, search it, and you're going to want to make sure you know what you're looking for. If there's a lock that needs a key, you're going to be looking for a key. If there's a lock that has letters on it, you're going to be looking for a word or a combination of letters to be able to open that lock.
It's like figuring out what kind of an answer you're looking for, and then you find the pieces of like the question.
Exactly. Looking at a test, you want to look at some of the questions first so you know what answers to give. So it's the same thing with an escape room, is you need to be able to know what question you need to answer before you go out and look for them.
Yeah, like, oh, there's a lock here which has letters on it. Oh, there are letters, on the wall over here. Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny how many new groups we get that, I don't get a chance to talk to first, so they're not sure what to expect in the room, but they go in and they have such a hard time starting because they don't know what they're looking for, because they haven't even thought about, looking for the question first. They're just trying to look for answers, but they don't know what they're answering.
I'd love to hear more about that immersion aspect that you mentioned, coming up with sounds and scents to really bring the room to life. Can you talk a little bit more about your experiences with that in escape rooms?
Yeah, of course. It really, like I said, depends on the escape room. So where I work right now, Escape in Time Madison, they're known for their immersion. So that's one of the really great things about their rooms, is they really think about those little details. And this is something that you're not going to get at every escape room, because I've worked at other escape rooms where, they're more low key. They're less about immersion and more about the puzzles, which is completely fine. It just depends on what you want to do with your escape room and where you want to go. At Escape in Time, they think about everything from the design of the room, how you're going to get from room to room. Think about the lights. We have soundtracks for every room that are different depending on what the theme of the room is, what the story of the room is. We have different lighting. Like I said, we have different scents. So we make our own scents, and we have little bags that we carry around with us that we have to spray each room after we flip them for the specific scents that go in that room, to really give it that full effect, because we do want people to feel like they're in that story. We want people to feel like they're really traveling to these portals through time and finding themselves in a different place to kind of escape, to escape their normal lives and be able to do this thing for an hour. That's really fun and really immersive.
Yeah, because the scenario you're presented with in the escape room is certainly not something that Shannon in real life or Sophie in real life would be doing. So I bet it's not only fun, but maybe helps a little bit to say, okay, now you're a detective, you're an adventurer. Go forth and do it.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what we tell people when we take them back to the rooms. We're like, okay, now you're traveling through space, or you found a pirate ship and you're going to look for some lost treasure. You know, we tell them you're the adventurers. So go off and have fun and explore. And we hope that you can solve all the puzzles and have a great time.
Shannon, thank you so much for telling us about something you love today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. I had such a fun time being here.
Good. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in today. If you'd like to learn more about escape rooms, you can find a link to the one where Shannon works in the episode description. And don't forget to use the hashtag #LoveThisThingCast to tell us about the things you love. I Love This Thing So Freaking Much is a production of Through the Window Media. This episode was directed by Sophie A. Katz and edited by Melissa Block. You can find us at Through the Window on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. That is THROU, the window, at all those social media sites. Be good to yourself, be kind to each other, and you'll hear from us again soon.